So my name is Ron Benzev. I am the founder and president of World Housing Solution. Think of us as IKEA meets construction, but it is so efficient that it's like living inside of a Yeti cooler. Very important, especially with the government acquisition side. We are not Milcon. We do not violate Statement of Forces agreement. We are considered as expeditionary. When we started our lives once upon a time, once we started our lives in the disaster relief side, we decided that there had to be a need for a better shelter, especially after man-made or natural disaster. And we discovered that tents were the go-to solution on everything that is going out there, including the military. But the reality is, when you start looking at tents and tent deployments, is how can you improve the lives of the troops or folks here in the continental United States after a disaster or in a deployment? Where would you rather be in this particular picture, right? In a rigid shelter or in a soft-sided shelter? And the answer is fairly self-evident. One of the things we learned very quickly and early on into what we do is that logistics is what matters when it comes to deployment, both in the continental US and abroad. We currently air condition and heat tents. Not the most efficient way to do this. We have developed a system that can actually run off the grid affordably. So think of us as a hybrid solution from an energy standpoint that is reusable and long lasting. Logistics is one of the biggest friction point when it comes to deployment. And not only does it cost lives, 58% of all casualties in Iraq and Afghanistan came from the logistical aspect of things, but it also costs a lot of money. So on average, we taxpayers paid $400 a gallon. But for every gallon used in a forward operating environment, it takes 7 gallons to get it there. So the math starts getting up there really quickly. So we've developed a system that can be, assembled by hand, disassembled and moved again. Some of our shelters and deployments systems have been out there and taken apart over 50 times. Everything is designed so that if the material handling equipment fails upon arrival, it doesn't matter. Folks can literally empty out the container and load it up and build a unit in a matter of hours. This particular shelter takes less than 45 minutes to put together. Efficiency of space is also crucial. In a tent, you can't hang anything on the walls. You waste about 1/3 of the space of a tent, which means that in any encampment, you actually use a lot more space to deploy tents, whereas in a rigid shelter, you actually save a lot of space. So when you're deploying, it makes the deployment a lot easier. And then we also design a solution that solves the problem as opposed to trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, as to the fact that a tent only comes in one size and that's all that they do. Simple to transport, easy to assemble, no heavy equipment, quick to connect, run off the grid on very small generators. We're the only shelter in the DoD today that has a return on investment. We're also creative. We have a team of folks that can address very specific challenges. In this case, it's a requirement from the Marine Corps Aviation at the Pentagon level in support of the F-35 program, where they asked us to develop a tactical operating center that can fit on 463 Lima pallets. And those 4 pallets actually equal 800 square feet of space, give or take, and get assembled in less than 7 hours. So it really gives flexibility to the user on how to solve and address specific challenges. And those challenges just go on and on. We can do tiny homes and address homelessness. We can address veteran housing, transitional housing. We do and have done medical deployments, small to large camps. All those things really work very well hand in hand in what we do. Also because of the fact that we can go ahead and disinfect the system once it's done. You can clean it, bleach it. It will not mold, will not mildew, will not rot, will not get affected by termites. So you can store it, take it out, and use it as if nothing has happened before. So very simple and quick to do. Proven long-lasting material. It is composites or slightly different. We utilize a patented system on our legs and our foundation, so it doesn't have to have flat ground to deploy. So that gives, again, more capabilities for the user as to where they need to go ahead and deploy those systems. We have been deployed by every branch of the military, with the exception of the Coast Guard and the Space Force. So we're still hopeful. We are DLA, SOE, and TLS approved, as well as MRO. We are FEMA CAD B reimbursable approved. We are CARES Act approved as well. So some of our customers have used a variety of different colors of money to acquire our solutions. And we're done. I hope I did it on time and addressed most of the questions.